All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of T2N Live. We're going to talk tonight about obstacles that may be blocking your path when it comes to fat loss. And I say fat loss rather than weight loss because we have to be mindful of the fact that typically what we want to do if we have excess weight that we want to get rid of, granted some of it's water, but the majority of what we want to get rid of when it comes to weight is we want to get rid of body fat. We don't want to be getting rid of lean muscle tissue. So we're definitely looking for the body fat aspect when it comes to dieting or, watching our nutrition and things of that nature. So there's basically three different things that I want to talk to you about concerning obstacles that may be in your way when it comes to fat loss. The first of which is that you're probably not eating enough. This is a huge misconception that happens all the time in the diet world. Okay. You wind up cutting back your calorie intake so much that your metabolism actually slows down. Now, the starvation effect that many people have talked about for years, that's not necessarily true. Your body doesn't hold on to everything it eats because it thinks you're starving. What it does do is, because of a process called adaptive thermogenesis, if you're not putting enough fuel into your body, your metabolism is going to slow down because it's not needed to run at that higher pace to process food that's not coming in. So because of adaptive thermogenesis, you really need to be careful and make sure that your nutrition is on point. You want to make sure that you're not eating too many calories for your goals, and you want to make sure you're not eating too little. A good rule of thumb is to figure out what your total daily energy expenditure is, and then you take that and subtract anywhere from 300 to 500 calories. That's going to put you in a caloric deficit that is sufficient enough for you to lose anywhere between a half a pound and a pound a week. At a 500 calorie deficit, that at 500 calories times 7 days totals 3,500 calories. That's a pound of fat or a pound of body weight. So if you are getting about 500 calories of a deficit, you're going to have a better chance of losing weight at a steady pace. The second thing that may be standing in your way when it comes to losing body fat is actually, and this is going to sound strange, but it's because you're not eating enough dietary fat. If most people, when they go on diets, what winds up happening is the first thing that they do is they take fats out of their diet. But when they do that, you actually wind up kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face, because those healthy dietary fats are used in the body for hormone creation. Dietary fat is very, very integral in neuromuscular communication. Your brain sends signals to your muscles to do the things that they need to do, and fat is responsible for helping to make sure that that connection happens. So make sure that you're getting adequate amounts, not too much, just like anything else. Too much dietary fat is bad for you, but you want to make sure that you're getting adequate fat in your diet. That's the second thing I would say that's holding you back from fat loss. And the third thing that I want to touch on is one that I touch on a lot, but it's really, really important to understand. We live in a society today where so many people say that carbs are evil, and they're not evil. I like to say that they're dangerous, because they are the one macronutrient that you can eat that your body can't just expel. It has to do something with it. And if your bloodstream is flooded with glucose and your muscle cells can't store any more glycogen, which is the stored form of glucose, and you're not burning it for energy, it's going to go to your liver and it's going to get turned to fat. And then you actually wind up being counterproductive to your fat loss goals, because you're actually producing more body fat rather than losing it. So my suggestion to anybody who's trying to lose body fat, one of the main things that you need to do, I won't say you need to restrict carbohydrates, because some people just can't do that. Does a ketogenic protocol work and work well for fat loss? Absolutely it does. But some people can't handle, only eating 20, 30, 40 grams of carbs a day. Some people, for whatever reason, need 100, 150 grams of carbs a day, and that's fine. But it's all about making sure that if you're eating excess carbohydrates, you need to make sure that you're exercising to burn them off. And you need to make sure that you're adjusting all your other macronutrients, your carbs or your protein and your fats, so you're not going over your calorie goal. So those are the three things that are really, really important to make sure that you pay attention to, and they're some of the biggest obstacles when it comes to fat loss. Okay? Now, doesn't look like I've got any questions or anything, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up for today. I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next Thursday, probably around the same time. I may move it to 6:30. I'm trying to find the best time where I can catch the most of you, where you're able to watch. So, but if not, maybe you'll catch it in a replay. And if you have any questions, by all means, leave the questions in the comments. I'm always paying attention to comments that come in on my content, and I'll be more than glad to get back to you with an answer. So until I see you guys again, take care. You know my motto, playtime's